Hi guys, this is Ranjit, and in this video we'll be doing the review for this Lava Agni 2 smartphone. And guys, know I'm late because I never got the review in it, so I had to actually purchase it, and I got it pretty late at 3rd June, and now have used it over about a week. So I'll give you my impressions. What do I feel about this one? And I have to say, this is a pleasant surprise. Lava has done an incredible job. Overall, if I have to say, I purchased it for 20,000, for 22,000, but during the first sale, I paid 20,000. And I have to say, for that price of 20,000, this smartphone has to be one of the best smartphones that I have tested under 20,000. But again, it's not without its flaws. So let's get on with the review. What do I feel about this? I won't get into the unboxing because you guys might have seen a lot of that. But it comes in this pretty nice packaging box, and you open it like this, and it says proudly Indian. In fact, if you actually boot it also, while booting you get this hashtag. And I'm very happy that Lava could pull off this quality of a smartphone for this price point. Xiaomi, Redmi, and even Samsung should be actually scared now. Now, if you open it up, you get this here, and it's actually very nicely packed. I've taken out all the stuff, so let me just show you. You do get this pamphlet, and again it says that you will get a free phone replacement at home. I don't know how well this will be, but this is what we get in the box. And again, the specs are also very good, and it proudly says made in India a lot of places, so I'm happy about that one. And you do get a fast charger on this one. This is actually a 66-watt Type-C charger that you get in the box. You obviously get the Type-C to Type-C cable, and you also get a case in this one. I did not use the case while I was testing because I wanted to see its durability, so I used it normally without the case. And luckily we also do get a USB Type-C to 3.5mm headphone jack dongle, which is actually missing even in higher end phones. So that way, I would say it does a lot of things. Let me quickly give you a physical overview, then we'll move between the pros and cons. What do I feel about this device? Okay, the first thing that I noticed is that the build quality on this one feels excellent. I didn't expect that the build quality will be this good. In fact, I have to say, as of now in India, under 20,000, this must be one of the best build quality phones that I have used. The glass, if you notice, you're having a curved edge over here, and this is an AMOLED screen, guys. This is not what you say LCD screen or something like that. There are some cons. I'll talk about that later also. Auto brightness I simply do not like, and it has a tendency to just over brighten stuff at times. But overall, in terms of build quality, it's very good. Back again, as it's not a review in it, I didn't get the guide or something, so I don't know if this is glass, but this definitely feels like glass, guys. And also, you don't get that fingerprint smudges, and in this color it actually looks very good. In fact, this looks so good that my cousin actually asked me, what is this phone? And when I told him the price, he simply couldn't believe it. So that way, I would say, again, as I told you, auto brightness is like screwed up. Yeah, even if I disable it, gets overly bright or something like that. But overall, build quality is really good. We do have a secondary noise cancellation microphone on this end. We have the volume rocker and power on off button here. The speaker is just a mono speaker. That's the little con that I have no stereo speakers on this one. You have the main microphone here, your SIM slot, dual SIM. Good thing is that this phone is stored only in one variant as of now. That comes with 8 GB of RAM and 256 GB of storage. So storage should not be an issue. And this side is empty. If you look at the back, this is pretty interesting, and it's actually a quad camera setup. The main camera is what you should be interested in. It's a 50 megapixel. I'll show you camera samples. In fact, I was pleasantly surprised. Next, we have a 13 megapixel ultra wide, and the next 2 megapixel depth and macro rubbish that we have. But again, we can't complain too much because smartphones priced at even higher price point are still giving that 2 megapixel stuff. Front facing camera is again a 16 megapixel. I hate this. Whenever I unlock, it doesn't remember the state of the brightness I have set. I have to always do it, and auto brightness also is not calibrated that well, I would say. That's the nitpicking that I have. Okay, now let's move to the pros. As I've told you, first thing is the build quality. When you hold this phone, and I have tested so many phones, I simply could not believe it's a 20,000 rupees phone. Man, this auto brightness is killing me. Okay. So that way, in build quality, it feels super premium, and people will be fooled that this is a smartphone costing about 40,000 or something like that. That's that good it is. Next thing I like is this is having an AMOLED screen, and it's 120 hertz AMOLED screen, and I think so I have forced it to 120 now, and then also it's very fluid. So that way, in terms of fluidity, it's very good. And if I go to display, if you notice, you also have always on. I didn't use always on, just want to be very clear, but I have forced it to this high refresh rate, that is 120 hertz, and the battery starts that you'll be seeing is based on this high thing. If you put it on dynamic, then maybe you'll get even better battery life. We'll talk about that later. But overall, very smooth. I was worried that at this price point, how will be the optimization or everything, because again, it's pretty new processor. This is the first time I'm actually testing this 750, and this is super smooth. So that's a very big surprise to me. One thing I do not like about the screen on this one is it's a oversaturated screen. In fact, if you are buying this smartphone, this is the first thing that you should go to the display, and here, and if I go to my tone, by default it is on vivid. Oh my god, it's so shabby, it's oversaturated like crazy, colors will look weird. I've kept it on normal, and now it's slightly better, but again, even in normal, I would say the saturation is very close to oversaturated phones that you get. So saturation even in the normal mode is slightly oversaturated. Most of you will not notice it. I notice it because I work with video and color and all this thing. I'm picky about that. So that is something that I have noticed. But overall, in terms of screen quality, it's good screen quality. And another thing is that you do have this in-display fingerprint scanner, and for the most part, I would say 90% of the time it's very secure. But sometimes it can get a little bit slow. I've noticed that. Not always. Sometimes for some random reason it might take over a second to unlock, but right now, as you can see, it's fast. Okay, next thing I really liked about this smartphone, and some of the other brands and even bigger brands should learn from Lava. At this price point, they're able to do it, and that is, I found no bloatware or ads on this smartphone. Yes, guys, that's a big deal. I think so at this price point, only Motorola is the exception, but under 20,000, the G series, they are also creeping one or two bloatware out. But this one was clean out of the box, nothing. I've installed some apps, guys. So very clean experience, I would say. This is not exactly stock Android experience, but very close to it. It's still a custom UI, I would say. As you can see from the menus, you can know the Dura speed and you don't get with stock Android, but it has all the functionality you see, and no bloatware on this. So that's why I love this smartphone. At this price point, they're able to do it, but many of the other smartphone brands, even at 30,000 price point, are bundling bloatware and adware like hell. So that way, kudos to Lava for what they have achieved. Next thing I like is, again, as I've told you, the storage is 256 gigabytes, so you don't have to worry about it. And overall, I would say the RAM management was also done very well on this smartphone. I did not have any issues with RAM management on this phone. The apps that you want to be in memory, stay in memory. For example, Truecaller, MyGate, WhatsApp, etc. never booted out or anything like that. So apps that you use frequently stay in memory. They don't get booted out. That way, RAM management was done well on this smartphone. Next thing, as I've told you, I like the fluidity of the smartphone, and this is again a combination of the optimizations that they have done, and also because of the Dimensity 750 SoC. This is a fairly new SoC, but it's actually a pretty practical SoC. It's based on 6 nanometer process for general usage. Oh man, it's very fluid. And again, I keep questioning myself. This is a 20,000 rupees smartphone. Next thing that I loved on this smartphone, and I was very skeptical, because what I've seen is many of the smartphones do add a lot of specs or something, but in terms of call quality, they are rubbish. Here, the call quality on this smartphone was spectacular. The earpiece quality is loud and clear, and I never actually had an issue of proximity sensor. In fact, the call quality, I would say, is as good as flagship smartphones. The calls are very clear. And of course, 5G works out of the box. Right now, still my Airtel SIM is in this one, and if you notice, I'm getting the 5G signal. In fact, the Wi-Fi reception and the 5G reception was decent. If I go over here, let's go to the results. And if you see, just recently I just did the 5G test. We got a speed of 234 down and 22 up. And this is the Wi-Fi test I did. Got a speed of 617 and 720 upload. So that way, in terms of basic networking also, they have done a very, very good job. So no proximity sensor issue. So even if you're a business centric person and you take a lot of calls, then you'll be happy. There is one con. I'll talk about that in the cons section. Anyways, moving to the next thing that I liked, and this was a very, very big surprise to me. And I thought the camera, it's a quad camera setup and something like that. And it'll be like utter rubbish, because that's what happens with new brands, the camera optimization. But I couldn't be wrong. Yes, the 22 megapixel are like rubbish, but the default camera, if you notice, is actually fast. The only thing I don't like is to slide down to ultra wide and something you have to move here. Why can't they just provide a simple toggle over here? So that's what it is. But let me do one thing. Let me actually now show you the sample shots so that you get a better idea regarding the camera. Outdoor shots come out good. There is slight saturation boost, but not that much. This is actually a regular shot, and this is ultra wide. Another example, regular shot, and this was ultra wide. Again, regular shot and ultra wide. The ultra wide, the color changes, so you got to be careful. But regular samples with the 50 megapixel camera, as you can see, actually come out pretty good. And these are some random samples that I had actually taken. And as you can see, decent. This was taken at night, and this was in dull lighting conditions. In dull lighting conditions, yes, the picture is a bit soft, but not a deal breaker. Samples with the front facing camera, and in regular lighting conditions, it come out good. This is actually in the portrait bokeh mode. But when there is very harsh lighting in the background, as you notice, the HDR with the front facing camera is very poor. Shooting the video with the front facing camera, and I noticed in the front facing camera, if you keep it at full HD, HDR, as you can see, it does not work that well. So be careful about that. And with the front facing camera, the maximum resolution is full HD. But with the rear facing camera, actually you can shoot up to 4K. This is a sample with the rear facing camera, and I've kept it actually at 4K. But do note that if you keep it at 4K, the electronic image stabilization gets disabled. So if you want EIS, that stability, you have to keep it at 2K. The good thing is that even in 4K, the video HDR is actually doing a good job. It's not overexposing the stuff, as you can see. Now I've set the video to actually 2K, so EIS is enabled, and I'm walking. So yeah, definitely the video is a little bit more stable with this 2K footage, as you can see. But again, yeah, it is EIS, so this is what you can expect. Okay, now let's talk about the cons and things that I did not like. And the first biggest con is, if you notice, this is having the edge screen. And I have to say, the edge screen detection is one of the most rubbish that I've seen on any smartphone. In fact, during the first 2 days, whenever I was trying to take a picture like this, and you hold the phone like this, so the shutter button was not clicking at all, because it was edge detection was not that good. Now I've gotten used to it, but the edge detection is really bad on this smartphone. So I hope Lava with the update actually fixes the edge detection. This has to be one of the worst edge detection that I've seen, and that's why I think so. Even I was talking about the fingerprint scanner, sometimes it doesn't work, because sometimes you hold the phone like this and see, it did not work. Because I'm holding the phone like this. See, it did not work. So this is something that most of the brands have fixed with edge screen, and I hope Lava with the software update fixes this, because that's my biggest con. And again, another thing that you have noticed is that the stupid auto brightness is calibrated really, really bad on the smartphone. Many times it just tries to get over bright, I would say, in indoor conditions, and you have to manually lower the brightness. And even when you're moving out between, if you're in a dull area also, just randomly the brightness might increase at times. So that is one thing that I do not like. And of course, another thing is that in outdoor sunny situation, the smartphone's screen is not super bright. So outdoor sun legibility is there, but it's not super bright. But again, I can't complain for the price point. Okay, next thing is I hope, and as this smartphone is now out at with the public, if I go to about the phone and show you some of the stuff, I don't know when will Lava push out the update, because if I go to the Android version, if you see, the Android security update is still of 5th March. And the good thing is it's coming out with Android 13, so you're getting the latest version of Android. but if you notice, the security update is still on 5th March. So I hope they have made a beautiful handset with beautiful build quality and everything. I just hope Lava pays attention on the software and fixes some of the bugs. This edge screen bug, that accidental stuff, is they should actually, it's high time they should actually fix it. That's one of the biggest cons that I have with this smartphone. And yes, lastly is the speaker. The speakers are decent, but again, it's a single speaker, guys. It's not a, what do you say, dual. Let me just skip and increase the volume to max. So this is the maximum volume, and the speaker is just this. If you just hold it like this, completely you can block it. Regarding gaming, guys, to be very frank, I just played Call of Duty for a little bit of time and it was fine, but I did not do heavy gaming. So if you want to know about gaming, check out some other channels. But apart from some of the cons that I have mentioned, overall, I would say this is an excellent smartphone. Yes, I know that they have given this dongle on this one, but I wish, if I have to nitpick, they should have also given a 3.5mm headphone jack, because this does not have that stereo speaker. But apart from that, overall, if I have to say, this is a very good Android smartphone that Lava has produced. In fact, I'm surprised, because when I got this smartphone, my expectations, it got a lot of hype. My expectations were like this, because generally that's what happens when there's a lot. But I have to say, it has exceeded my expectations. But yes, it's not without its bugs, and some of the cons that I have mentioned, they should really fix that edge detection and other stuff on this smartphone. And I hope Lava pays attention to the software and gives good quality updates to this smartphone. And if they continue to do that, then I would say this smartphone is a wake-up call to other brands like Xiaomi, Redmi, and even Samsung. Anyways, guys, that was my review of this Agni 2. I had purchased it from Amazon, so I'll leave the link so you can check it out. Anyways, guys, if you're still not subscribed to the YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care, guys.